What's up YouTube? This is going to be your guide on how to use Raikou in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun me movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section. If you enjoy these, if they help you out, drop a like, and let's get into it. So Raikou probably isn't used the most out of a lot of the other legendaries, but it still has some pretty good niches it can fill for your team. So let's have a look at its stats to begin with. So its obvious best stat is its special attack and its speed. So it's a speedy special attacker. It actually has some pretty nice special defensive bulk with 100 base, and all of its other stats are just kind of okay. Its health isn't too bad, I guess, but it's definitely a speedy special attacker. It's got two abilities, pressure, and it's also got inner focus, which isn't too bad for the flinching side of it, not so much for the intimidate, as it's more of a special attacker. So our first set here is going to be a Calm Mind Sweeper. Now, this is going to be working well in singles, and it can even work well in doubles. I've got some more focus double sets on this, as the video goes on. So we've got obviously got Calm Mind, so boosting its already nice special attack stat, which is good. And then we've got Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt is a nice, powerful electric stab, 90 base power, 100% accuracy, which is great. It actually gets Scold as well, which is really, really nice. That's going to be able to hit any ground-type Pokemon, rock-type Pokemon. It's going to be excellent for that sort of coverage against its weaknesses and stuff like that. And then with Terra Blast, I'm going to be giving it Terra Blast Grass. Now, one thing about Raikou, it does have quite a shallow move pool, so you'll find a lot of the time to reach the best amount of coverage, you'll have to give it Terra Blast and said sort of Terra. Otherwise, you might be missing out on Pokemon, just do some general neutral damage to, let alone super effective damage there. So EV spread, we got its max special attack and max speed, Timid Nature. You want to make use of that Timid Nature. It's very, very fast, which is going to be like super good for sure. Now, there are other couple of Terras that could suit this. You could, for example, put Terra Water on there, Terra type Water, and you could drop, for example, you could go Terra Water for Scold. Scold is still better than Terra Blast mostly because you've got the same base power and you've got the chance to burn. The only thing Terra Blast would probably have over it is you could just use it as a general move, a general normal special attacking move, right? And then you don't have to do it, but I still think Scold is definitely better over that. And then what you do is you'd get rid of Terra Blast and you'd probably give it something like Substitute. This is more for singles, and Substitute is definitely more for singles. Now, the item I had on there before was Shuka Berry. You could have Shuka Berry on there. You could have Life Orb on there. You could have Citrus Berry on there. There's quite a few things you could use. Heavy Boots would be Heavy Duty Boots would be another good one as well. Definitely more for singles for boots. A good one with this Substitute is Leftovers. That can be quite handy. So that might be able to net you a little bit of health back there, and you might even be able to get another Substitute out of it as well. So that's some good Terras and sort of a different way of running the Calm Mind set there. Trying to think of some other coverage moves that could work for you. I really like having Scold on there, but maybe you could put some other coverage moves. These are some of them. It gets Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball allows you to hit Ghost-type Pokemon, I guess, so it's a little bit of extra coverage. Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere gives you a way to hit Steel-type Pokemon for super effective, Rock-type Pokemon, so that can be, normal type Pokemon, that can be useful, especially for like rock types, that could be good, and steel types that are very tanky, that's another option too. Yeah, that's just some options there you could go about using for a Raikou. Let's check out a Choice Spec set now. Okay, so for this Choice Spec set here, we've got same sort of EV setup, so we're going with max special attack and max speed, Timid Nature, and that's going to give it a real good boost in its special attack, so that 1.5 times boost. In singles, you can actually get away with using pressure because inner focus isn't that useful unless you flinching. I feel the flinching is a lot more prominent in doubles, so you don't really have to worry about as much. But you can go for inner focus if you want to, if you don't want to be flinched by, like, say, fake out and stuff like that. Depending on what rule set you're playing, whether you're seeing a lot of fake out users or Pokemon that can outspeed you. There's not too many, right? So it'd mainly be moves like fake out, so kind of niche there. So I feel like pressure is definitely probably more useful in singles, in my opinion. Anyway, back to the set. So Volt Switch is great with choice specs. That can do some nice damage, nice scouting, nice momentum on your team. Excellent. So Volt Switch and Thunderbolt always work really well together. So that's nice. We've got Scold on here for any like rock type Pokemon, ground type Pokemon, fire type Pokemon. That's excellent. And Terra Blast Grass. I gave it the same Terra because Terra Blast Grass is really good. You can hit stuff that, say, like a good Pokemon would be Quagsire or Gastrodon. Those Pokemon you'd actually be able to hit, because outside of that, especially like Gastrodon, like you'd be that's actually a great counter for Raikou is Gastrodon. So having a grass type move on electric type Pokemon is always a very, very good idea. Unfortunately, it doesn't learn anything. I was hoping, I would hope that it got like Grass Knot or even Energy Ball would be great, but it doesn't get those moves, sadly. It is quite barren on the move pool side. But that's definitely a way of running a choice spec set. Some other options you might be able to put on there if you don't want to run Terra Blast or Grass on there. You can put Aura Sphere on there too. Like, Aura Sphere isn't that bad, and you can change it up to Terra Water if you wanted to. Aura Sphere is not that bad, as mentioned before. You've got a 100% accurate move. You've got 80 base power. It's going to allow you to hit Steel-type Pokemon and Rock-type Pokemon. So that could give you some pretty good coverage too. And you can still use Aura Sphere against a Grass-type Pokemon too. So you can at least do something, right? So that isn't all that bad either. So there are a couple of different ways you can go about it. So Grass, Water seem to be, I reckon, are the best Terras for a Raikou. Outside of Electric, if you want to really boost up its Electric move like Thunderbolt or Volt Switch, you could do that too. But you just have to be a little bit wary that your other moves, if you need a quick defensive Terra, which a lot of the time you may not because it's an Electric type, it's only weak to ground. But if you want to try and power up, like, say, Scald and Aura Sphere, or have a powerful water move on an incoming ground or rock type, it is quite handy to have that. It'd be nice if it had, if it had Terra Water and it had something like Lightning Rod, that'd be great. But it doesn't have that, so that would, I don't know, there's any of those cool electric, like Motor Drive or Volt Absorb or something, but unfortunately it doesn't have any of those, like, baiting kind of ability with Terra type moves. Let's have a look at some double strategies now. Okay, so our first strategy here with Raikou for doubles, if you want to use it, is a special sweeper, of course. Now, it actually gets Weather Ball, which is really cool. Now, Weather Ball gives it the opportunity that this is going to be, obviously, on a rain team, right? So that gives it a way more powerful option than, say, Scald on these single sets, right? If you run a rain team in singles and you want to try a bit more powerful water type move, sure, you can do this too. But this is probably better for I'd say better for doubles, right? But not to say you couldn't try this in singles. So I'd pair with something, say, like a Pelipper or a Kyogre with Drizzle. They're both going to work, or Politoed, whatever you want to run to set your rain up, yeah? So you've got Weather Ball. So that's going to turn it into a 100 base power water type move, which is excellent. And that's going to give you some very, very good coverage against your counters. Now, it gets Thunder as well. Obviously, being electric type, that's going to be 100% accurate in the rain, which is going to be really, really nice. So you can threaten Pokemon like Kyogre, which are very, very common in doubles. It also gets Snarl, which is a good special attacking move, a good way of dropping the opponent's special attack. And you can also do a Throat Spray set here if you want an alternative. So you've got Snarl to boost up your special attack there. Now, you can either go, I would probably go here, Calm Mind or Protect as the last move. So Calm Mind, you've got Calm Mind and Snarl. Maybe you don't want to double up on that with Throat Spray, or maybe you want to swap the Throat Spray out for something else. You could do that. Maybe, I don't know, Air Balloon could work as well as an item, but just some extra options there. So you've got Calm Mind on there too, so you can boost up your special attack. But you could do something like, you could do something more like this too. So let's say Protect. You could put Protect on there and have Calm Mind. Obviously, you get rid of the Throat Spray then, and you give it something like maybe Magnet to power up Thunder even more. Or you could give it Mystic Water to power up, you know, the Weather Ball even more. Could be an option too. Or you could give it Life Orb. There's quite a few options. You could even go with Focus Sash. Now, you'd really only have to worry about Focus Sash from a physical move, right? Its special defense is nice, so just putting that one, you know, sort of just putting that one out there. So you could have any of those moves. Shuka Berry would be okay as well, because you're only weak to one thing, so you've got an obvious power, a super effective move coming your way. It's going to be a ground type, so that's another good one to run on there too. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. You got a Citrus Berry on there. There's no need. Inner Focus as the ability, so you don't need to run, you know, anything like Covert Cloak and stuff like that. So it'll also, that's like another option you could run maybe. Oh, I don't think you'd get taunted at all. I feel like you'd just be like a pure offensive Pokemon. So Air Balloon could be another one too there. So I would go with the Air Balloon for that. So that's sort of our first double set. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so our next set here is going to be pretty similar. However, you know, comparing this one here, which was the Terra Water Weather Ball set in the rain with Calm Mind, we have got an Assault Vest set. So it actually has a very nice special defensive stat. And with Assault Vest, it makes it quite tanky. And only being weak to like one type of move is really good. So Volt Switch is a great move there for doubles for sure. So you can always match that up with a Pokemon that's, say, a flying type or something that resists ground type moves that has maybe Intimidate or anything like that. Or let's say a Rillaboom. Rillaboom would be an excellent partner for that, because it can set the grassy terrain up and it can incoming on any of those ground type moves and do nothing, and then be, you know, ready to go. But I'll do some more team counters and stuff, and you're in a little bit. So we've got Volt Switch there. Snarl is just there for getting some special attack drops. Thunderbolt for damage, and Scald for you know, any counters, spreading burns and stuff like that. This is a pretty steady set that's going to work well across the board on any teams. You don't really have to rely on, say, having rain and stuff like that. It's just going to do some steady damage and do its role reasonably well. It's not going to be super, super overpowered, but it's going to be pretty good, and it's going to be kind of surprisingly tanky too on the special side. So against some more threatening Pokemon like Flutter Mane and, say, Kyogre and stuff like that, it's going to be able to tank moves like a lot better. It's going to be able to, you know, kind of threaten them too, which is going to be good. That's sort of what I would do for doubles. Another one you could do here, some of the choice items could be good, like even Choice Scarf could be interesting on there. Maybe that way you can try and outspeed some really, really fast Pokemon. You could do Choice Scarf. That could be, you know, these moves could still work on there nicely. So that could be a good, like, say, Kyogre counter. Kyogre might, you know, they might have a Choice Scarf Kyogre of themselves and be like, oh, I'll just go for a Water Spout, and then you can go for a Thunderbolt and do serious damage to them, and then Water Spout will hit like a wet paper bag, that kind of thing. Or you could go Specs as well. We sort of already had a look at a Spec set already. They kind of run the same thing. Would I adjust the moves up for Choice Scarf and Choice Specs? Not really. These are pretty solid moves. Maybe Snarl. I don't know if I'd keep Snarl, though, on a Choice Scarf set. Maybe Specs I would, but probably not Scarf. I'd probably swap it up to maybe Aura Sphere or something like that. But Snarl still isn't a bad move, though, for double, so it could definitely work, too. Terra Electric I did on this for a Thunderbolt. You could do Terra Water, Electric. Heck, you could even do Dark if you wanted to. Maybe make yourself immune to, like, prankster moves or something like that. Interesting. Anyway, let's have a look at some more gimmicky sets now, and we'll go over some teams and counters and stuff like that. Alright, so we've got a couple of gimmicky sets here. This Raikou, we're going to try and make this into a Temu Dragonite, and when I mean that, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty terrible. But I thought it'd be interesting to have a look at how good Extreme Speed actually would be on Raikou. So obviously we've got Inner Focus. That's going to be much needed for a physical attacker. No flinches. So we've got max attack and max speed Adamant Nature this time, putting everything into attack. So with 85 base, yeah, it's kind of average. It's very, very mid, that's for sure. It's not going to be hitting super, super hard. So with, say, Extreme Speed and Terra Normal, that's going to be, it's going to be good. You've got Howl to boost up its attack, and you've got Wild Charge on there as well. I probably wouldn't put any other moves on there. I'd try to stick to Extreme Speed. As for items, I put Lumber on here in case you got burned, but I don't think many people would try and burn a Raikou unless they seen it using Extreme Speed. So you could load up a Silk Scarf on there as well and try and get a little bit more damage output from Extreme Speed and Terra Normal. I reckon after like one Howl, it would be okay. And it does have the speed to get that off too, and the typing. I believe you can get that off, but still, it's against a really bulky defensive Pokemon. It's not going to be one-shotting anything unless it's quite a frail Pokemon. But I feel like this could work as a nice surprise set for sure. Maybe you could put Choice Band on there or something like that and bring it into surprise KO things. But once again, there's Pokemon that do the Terra Normal Extreme Speed so much better. You've got Lucario, Dragonite, Arceus. They just... There's even better Pokemon than worse Pokemon than them that do this role better. But I just thought I'd give you another perspective on how you could go about using a Raikou there. And once again, its move pool is kind of limited on the physical side too. A little bit less limited than the special side, believe it or not. Let's check out this last... we've got a PIMPNITE special here, of course. Let's check it out. Okay, so this set is a little bit similar to the last one. It is physical. So we've got Howl to boost up its special attack. I've got Supercell Slam on here. Now, the reason I didn't put that on this double set was because of all the Protect users. That's why for double. So this one's more of a double set to try it out. This one's more singles for a bit of fun. So we've got Howl, Supercell Slam, Iron Head. Does get Iron Head, and you're probably like, that's a kind of an odd move to have on there. I'm like, yeah, it is, but it can hit Rock-type Pokemon and Ice types, which is why I'm going with Terra Flying. So if you're a flying type, you're weak to like Ice and Rock. So I thought, Iron Head wouldn't be too bad on it then. And being a really fast Pokemon, you might be able to get some flinches off too for a bit of fun. Terra Blast Flying, so you can get around any ground type move, and then you can spam Iron Head like you've never spammed it before. And then we got Magnet on there too to boost up Supercell Slam's base power a little bit. And then we got Max Attack and Max Speed Jolly Nature. So there you go, a beautiful PIMPNITE special. Give that one a try at your own risk. I don't think it's going to be super good, but it's going to be super fun to use. Let's try and do some team and some counters and stuff like that. Okay, so we're talking about some counters. Let's do some of them. So I did briefly mention this earlier. So Gastrodon is a super good counter for Raikou. Absolutely great for it. So being a water and ground type Pokemon, straight away it's going to be immune to anything like Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, right? It's bulky too. It's got Storm Drain, so that Skull that you've got on there won't hit it. The only real way it can land a move against it is Terra Grass, and that's it. But you would have to be running Terra Grass on your Raikou to do that. And I mean, it is a good Terra to run on it. But a lot of the time, you'll see other ones there, so it's not like a sure thing. I was going to say Quagsire is kind of similar as well with Water Absorb, but it's not as... I feel like Unawares a lot of the time is better than Water Absorb. Unless you're going for some like hardcore synergy on your team and you need Water Absorb, it's going to be less of a counter than Gastrodon is. I believe that you see Unaware a bit more than Water Absorb, mostly. So there's some pretty nasty counters for it for sure. I'm trying to think of some other good, like actually Ting Lu would be a good counter. Just thinking of that. So Ting Lu with Vessel of Ruin is going to power down the special attacks by 0.75%. Like a Scald is not even going to break a sweat against this thing, and this could just, let's say it had something like Earthquake with 100 base attack, even with no EVs, it would one-shot a Raikou. So that's just going to destroy Raikou every single day of the week. So that's a good counter. Obviously being a ground type as well. None of its moves are going to do much. Ground types, again, how about Landorus? Landorus steering. A Scald is not kill. One Scald is not kill. Even a choice specs. It'd have to be like a choice spec Scald, but then even that, it's going to destroy it with Earthquake as well. So that's going to be a good counter. So any ground types are going to be good too. Another ground type, Ursaluna. These are some more common ones you'll see. So Ursaluna, that's going to destroy it as well. Unless you hit it with a powerful water type move. Say like Scald or something like that. That could take it out. But a lot of the time, the best item on this is Assault Vest. And it's not going to one-shot. So yeah, that's some good counters there for you. There's lots more counters than that. But I just thought I'd say some more prominent Pokemon. Some good partners for this is, I would say, Rillaboom is a good partner. That's a great swap in there to get around its counters. Absolutely good for that. Now, another good one is Urshifu. Urshifu Rapid Strike, which is a great Pokemon on so many teams. So that can get around all of its counters, those ground types, rock types, stuff like that. That's an excellent Pokemon, to partner up with it. And as is like Chien Power is a good one too. So they're very powerful Pokemon that you'll see a lot. So they make good partners if you want to use a Raikou. So anything like that is going to be very, very useful. Plus you can get around. Raikou kind of struggles to hit any dragon type Pokemon at all for any damage whatsoever outside of maybe a Choice Specs, a weakened Choice Specs non-stab attack. So Chien Power is really good for that sort of stuff as well if you need that as a partner. Now, I think that's mostly it for Raikou. Let's check out some of its moves that it gets, and we'll do some sort of final thoughts. So, here we go. So, it gets Agility. There's no point running Agility. It's already very fast. Carmine is a very common set to run on it. It can have Light Screen and Reflect if you want a speedy Light Screen Reflect Pokemon, but I mean, it is only weak to ground, so that could be a little niche it could carve out maybe with I don't know, that. Say you go like Light Screen, Reflect, Volt Switch, and Scald or something like that. That might work. It does get Thunder Wave. I didn't mention that. That might be useful, but maybe. It's hard to fit Thunder Wave on there. Once you've got an electric move and some coverage, it's very difficult to fit that on there. It does get some other things like Electric Terrain. Eerie Impulse could be interesting for more of a support style set in doubles. And helping, you could have like Eerie Impulse, Helping Hand, Volt Switch, and Skull. That could work, maybe. Something like that. And make a bulky like max health split defenses, or make it like max health, max defense. Because they're like a bulky special defensive stat already. So that could work for doubles. Looking at its special attacks, so you can see there's so many electric moves already. So really, when you take all the electric moves out of it, there's not a lot there. You've got like one fighting type move or a sphere. You got Discharge as well. Discharge you might be able to use, say if you pair it up with a ground type, that could be useful. Or a Motor Drive Pokemon or a Volt Absorb Pokemon, that could work. Does get Extra Sensory, it's not really that useful, maybe except for like fighting or poison type, or you're going for some crazy flinching set. Scald is very good to cut. Like, Scald is like a staple move on Raikou. You will always see it with Scald. Like, you need to have Scald on there. Like, gets rid of its counters, allows you to do it. Shadow Ball is like a filler move on there. Terra Blast, it's either going to be grass or water most of the time. Thunder's good in the rain. Thunderbolt staple, Volt Switch staple, especially on Choice Spec sets, Scarf sets. Weather Ball's good in the rain for sure. It's like an alternative to Scald and more powerful, but dependent on weather. Charge Beam you can run on there, but Carmine is generally better, and you don't need to, you don't have to rely on a 70% chance. Electro Whip can be interesting in doubles as well, dropping speed. But I feel like, Raikou, getting my beasts mixed up there, is better at doing offensive damage rather than support. It does get Snarl, we went over that one. It gets Mud Slap as well if you want to go for some memes. You might be able to do like a Mud Slap on Bright Powder. It does get the Mighty Zap Cannon as well, but good luck trying to land that one. Let's have a look at its physical moves here. once again, it's actually got a lot more normal type moves than anything. So lots of normal type moves. I think they all get extreme speed, the legendary beast. It does. I think it got Supercell Slam. That's like really, and Trailblaze, the grass type move, but not really that useful on it because it's already fast anyway. Yeah, there's not too much. There's not too much here for the physical side. But anyway, to sum things up, Raikou is a speedy special attack Pokemon. It can be a good Calm Mind Pokemon. It can be a good Choice Specs, Choice Scarf Pokemon. It does face a lot of competition with other Pokemon that can just hit harder. It's got good typing, only having one weakness, and it does struggle a little bit from its Baron move pool, but it still is quite a good Pokemon that you might be able to make use on your team. That's about it, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like there. If you got any other movesets you want to add to it, or what Pokemon do you want to see me do next, put it below. Check out the playlist. I've done hundreds of these already, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.